As it started. It started. There's a bit of a delay, but it got started really fast today. Hey, students of Seneca. Thanks everyone for joining this live stream. Today we are going to be going over some tips and tricks for the Edexcel Religious Studies paper 3. There's going to be some generic tips that will be useful for any exam. Oh my god, my glasses look so wonky. Fix that. And we're going to go over some tips and tricks to help you with the exam. This was highly requested. I know it's quite a niche topic. Any questions you have, shout them out into the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. And you're ready. We've got the gong, which I can't do too loudly because people are looking at me really strangely. But I don't, it's worth it for the gong. Every time there's the right answer, you get a gong. So it is Religious Studies paper 3 tomorrow. And I hope you are ready to get one more exam out of the way and done with. So we're going to run over some tips and tricks that will be useful for whatever option you're sitting. So with this exam, it's important to remember that the questions always follow the same format, right? And that's really useful because it can make preparation a lot simpler. So the format is always A, B, C, D in the questions. And the first question, part A, is always worth 3 marks. And it's normally an outline question. And we're going to go over some predicted questions a little bit later in this live stream. But it's worth remembering that the first question is always worth 3 marks. And it's going to be like outline 3 features of X, Y, or Z. And basically, you just need to give 3 facts or short ideas. And you need to give a mark. You need to give a point per mark, okay? So that's really important for part A. Now, part B is where it gets a bit more interesting. That's when you have to give a reason and an explanation. Now, you have to give 2 explanations in part B. It's 4 marks. You get 1 mark for your point, and then you get a second mark for developing that point or giving a reason, okay? And you've got to do that twice because it's going to be explained to you or described to you of something. So you've got to do that twice. Now, question C, that's quite similar to part B, but it's worth 5 marks. And you've got to explain or describe 2 things, okay? And again, you've got to give a point and then develop it and give an explanation. But you also have to reference a source of wisdom or authority, which sounds very, I don't know, ethereal, but that's what you've got to remember for part C, okay? You've got to remember your source for part C, really, really important. Next is part D. Now, it's going to be worth 12 or 15 marks. And if it's 15 marks, that means you're being tested on spelling, punctuation, and grammar. So tips for answering the longer questions. Remember to focus your answer on the statement you've been given. It's really important that you answer specifically the question that's being asked, which I know sounds obvious, but it is important, particularly with religious studies. You also need to include different viewpoints, one supporting the statement and one arguing against it. Really, really important. Give a balanced argument and develop both of those arguments. Don't pay too much attention to one or the other. That's just a good general debate essay writing skill anyway. Then make sure that you include religious arguments. It's religious studies, so religious arguments should probably feature. Include evaluation, okay? That's one of the key assessment objectives. So you need to make judgments on the strength of the arguments throughout, and you should finish with a justified conclusion, okay? And if you haven't watched one of these before, this will be around about 30 minutes. Thank you for asking. And we're going to spend the first bit on some tips for just some general tips, and then we're going to go over some practice questions on the different topics. But keep those questions coming in. Thank you for asking. Gong for you, Oreo cat. Damn. Oh god, it's so loud. People are gonna be wondering, what is this crazy guy doing in this booth? But I'm having fun. I hope you guys are having fun too. Okay, so remember to write persuasively. You're very welcome. Write persuasively. Use a minimum of 3 paragraphs. Okay. And persuasive techniques, you want to be using linking words like however, moreover, those kind of things. That's what's going to help your argument give it a bit of flair. Using the rule of 3, so trying to use 3 adjectives when describing something's very persuasive. Rhetorical questions, all those kind of persuasive devices that will also be useful in English, which is the next live stream. So make sure you stick around for the English live stream at 5:30. And the examiner will expect to see extended writing and use of full sentences. So remember that. Okay, so those are some tips and tricks for the paper. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my little screen with y'all so you can see some short answer questions that we're going to go over. And there are 3 topics that can come up in the paper: Catholic Christianity, Christianity, and Islam. So we're going to do some short answer questions from each of those. Any questions you have while I'm going through them, just give me a shout, let me know, and I'll do my best to answer them. And we're going to be consolidating those techniques we talked about on how you need to answer these questions to maximize the amount of marks that you can get. Okay, so yes, we will be doing an English Lit revision session tonight. I'm glad you found the other one helpful. Thank you for the feedback, Annabelle. But yes, we're doing an English Lit study session after this. I'll be going over some tips for the paper and then also going over 2 predicted questions for the poem anthology part, because there are too many books to do predicted questions for all the different books. Whereas the poems, everyone has to do them, so we'll be doing one for the love and one for the conflict. So you have that to look forward to. But in the meantime, let's crack on with religious studies. Paper 3, philosophy and ethics. So fun. So you'll see me in a second. You've lost me for a sec, but I will be coming right back. And you'll see a little countdown. You're very welcome. So we're going to go over some speed sections for the different courses. I made this course today, so it's hot off the press. And we'll go over some relationships and family short answer questions for the 3 different topics. So if it's not your topic, don't worry, we'll still go over some exam tips to help out. But if it is your topic, boom, boom, boom. And the people, if you're asking about the people who are doing the stream, so it's a variety of different people. Yesterday we had Stephen, he was the founder of Seneca. He was in the live stream with me. I'm one of the content creators at Seneca. So it's a variety of different people that work for us. Tom was in the physics session yesterday. He's one of the developers doing all the coding-y stuff like Java and Python. So it's a variety of different people at Seneca. But let us know who else you want to see in them. Okay, so again, this is going to be a part A question. Explain 3 Catholic teachings regarding the purpose of the family. So with these questions, you just have to give 3 statements. And remember, 3 marks, so 1 mark per statement. And English Lit is going to be at 5:30, so it's going to be in about half an hour. I'll put the link to it. Oh, thanks, Ethan. God for you. Look at that answering so I can do my question. Amazing. Oh, it's so loud. It's so loud. People in the kitchen next door are like, what is this guy doing? Anyway, so part A questions, you need to give 3 single statements, okay? So in this example, Catholic teaches that families are the proper place for procreation. It teaches that families exist for the education of children, and it teaches that families provide a safe environment for the upbringing of children, okay? So those are our outline questions. Next, give 2 explanations for why the Catholic Church is opposed to artificial contraception. So we'll go over this, but when you're structuring your answer, remember you need to give your reason and then your explanation. That is how you get the 2 marks per point, okay? So explanation 1, the Catholic Church believes that artificial contraception frustrates God's plan. Explanation, God intended that sex should always be open to the possibility of procreation, okay? So that is how we structure it. Explanation, explanation. Some Catholics believe that artificial contraception can lead to promiscuity, and explanation, they believe that it allows people to have sex without having to accept the responsibility for children. So you can see how those are structured. We've got our first part of our explanation, then we explain it, and then the second point, and then we explain it. So remember that structure when you're structuring part B answers, okay? So again, this is going to be like your question C. So give 2 explanations for what the Catholic Church teaches about divorce in response to a reference to relevant sources. So again, the question is going to remind you to get all 5 marks in this question, you have to give a source, okay? So the Catholic Church teaches that divorce followed by remarriage is never permissible. Explanation: when you marry, they commit to staying together for better or for worse. So again, it's that same structure, reason and explanation that you'd also use in part B. Now, let's refer to a relevant source. This is supported by Jesus when he says, anyone who divorces his wife and marries another woman commits adultery. So again, that's an example of a source. That's a quotation from a famous figure in the religion or a famous text, okay? Again, it's two explanations, so remember to look at those question words, and you've got to give not one, but two explanations. So in some cases, Catholics believe that marriage can be annulled. And annulment declares that the marriage is invalid due to one or both of the persons not entering the marriage with either a full commitment or in full freedom. Okay, so that is how you structure those 5 marker questions. Okay, so we've got to get through 2 more other options. So I'm going to speed on. Any questions you guys have, just shout out in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them. But we've done Catholic Christianity. We're now going to do Protestant Christianity and go over the short answer questions. And again, you're going to see a nice bit of repetition because it's going to be the same format to answer these questions. So I can't hammer this home enough. There's always the same structure to answering these questions, so you can go into that exam feeling nice and relieved because you know what's going to be on the paper. So outline 3 Christian teachings on the point of marriage. So Christianity teaches that marriage provides men and women with companionship, and it teaches that men and women so as to enjoy a sexual relationship. It teaches that marriage is the basis of family life. Give 2 explanations for how local parish supports families. So again, this is our same 1-2 format. So we give our explanation 1, the local parish often provides Sunday school for children. Then we've got to go round 2, we've got to explain that statement. So always give the reason and then the explanation. In this way, the parish helps parents to educate their children in their faith. So then we have to give part 2. We've got most parishes have a minister who can give advice to those who are having marriage difficulties, and then we give our explanation. This support can often help to keep the family together in a loving relationship. So that's part B. You always give your explanation and then you explain it. So it's a bit explain. How is everyone doing? Other courses, so for live streams today, we've got the English Lit one at 5:30. Tomorrow we have business and DT. Those are our live streams for tomorrow, and then it's half term, so there's going to be a break. We might do some live streams on like predicted papers or particular tricky subjects. So let us know what would be useful live streams for everyone to have, and we'll do our best to do them. And then the plan the week after that would be to do a live stream before all of the other papers that are coming up. So all the other subjects. So the science paper 2s, maths calculator paper. Just let us know what live streams you want to see and we will do our best to put them on. Okay, so let's go back to religious studies, explain 2 Christian teachings regarding the value of family planning, and in the response reference relevant sources. So again, to get all those marks, you need to answer all parts of the question, so we need to give a relevant source. Okay, so reason 1, some Christian churches teach that family planning is important to avoid the dangers of overpopulation. Some Christians limit their families to just 2 children so as not to drain on the world's resources. So again, reason 1, then we give an explanation. And then we have to give a relevant source. So this is another good example of a source. It's the Lambeth Conference, said that deciding the number of children was a matter of the consciences of parents. So again, we've got to give not 1, but 2 reasons. So reason 2, some Christian churches teach that planning a family can help to make sure that it can survive in times of difficulty. Our explanation for that: for example, if parents can support the number of children they have, they can avoid stress on family relationships. Perfect. So again, that is how you structure that answer to get all 5 of those marks. Reason, explanation, give a nice little reference to a relevant source, and then we do it again, reason 2, explanation. So bam, amazing. So a good one to remember for Christianity is that 1958 Lambeth Conference. Okay, so we've got 1 more to do. We're going to go over the arguments for the existence of Allah, short cues for the Islam option for religious studies. And then we are done, and then it's just downhill 30 minutes until we go over English literature. So, okay, I've noted down the Edexcel music request. That would be really, really good. And we will see what we can do about doing a live stream for that. Keep all requests coming in, and the most popular courses are the ones that we'll do, because there's only we're a small team, so we'll do as many as we can, but the most requested ones are the ones we'll prioritize. So keep those requests coming in. Thank you very much. Okay. So again, describe 3 examples of visions that can be located in the Quran. So again, that first question is just 3 simple statements. You don't need to do explanations or anything like that. An angel appeared to Maryam to announce the birth of Isa. The prophet of Muhammad had a vision of Jibril in the cave of Hira. The king of Egypt had the vision of fat and thin cows. So that's 3 visions that you can find in the Quran. So next, we're going on to 2 explanations for human suffering that may lead to disbelief in Allah. So again, this is a part B question. So this is that important moment where you've got to give an explanation and then you've got to explain it, okay? So unanswered prayers when asking Allah to relieve suffering might cause Muslims to doubt that he exists. Explanation, they may come to doubt the belief in Allah as an all-merciful God. Next, explanation 2, suffering that is the result of disease may cause people to doubt that the world was created by a loving creator. We've got to explain it. Remember, it's a 2-parter. You've got to give explanation, and then explain the explanation. So lots of explaining. It is an exam, so I guess if there's a time to explain anything, it's an exam. They may believe that if Allah existed, he would have created a more perfect world. Fab. Okay, so this is our part C question. Could you do a history? Yeah. Let me know when the history exam is. I'm sure we'd love to do a history live stream. Yeah, I think that would be fun. Okay, 1.3, give 2 explanations for why Muslims may think that miracles lead to believing in Allah. In response, relevant sources. So again, this is that time where we've got to give relevant sources. So part C, that's always a relevant source. So reason 1, Muslims may believe that Allah is powerful enough only to perform miracles. The virgin birth of Isa, for example, shows the power of Allah over nature. And then we've got to refer a relevant source. So this could be a holy book, it could be a famous person in the religion, anything like that. So in the surah, Maryam, Allah says, it's easy for me and we will make him a sign to the people. Reason 2, many Muslims believe that miracles are a sign of God who is looking after them. Explanation, for example, they believe that Allah performed miracles to allow them to defeat stronger enemies in battle. Boom. So that was a quick run through of how to do those shorter answer questions. You want to do outline your 3, reason and explanation for part B, reason, explanation, and then some kind of quote for part C. Okay, so I hope that was a useful run through for everybody. Make sure you stick around because we've got a English literature run through coming up next, where we'll be going over how to structure essays and some last minute tips and tricks for the exam. Is there anything in particular you guys want to see in that episode? Let me know. Because we want it to be as useful and as great for everyone as possible. But thank you very much for joining this live stream for paper 3. Very good luck for the exam tomorrow. It's nearly the weekend and it's nearly half term, so it's nearly a break. Well done for all your hard work. Gongs for everybody. And oh my God, the gong is so loud when you move it around. Best of luck for everybody. And then remember, just to finish off, we'll go over some final points about what to do for those longer questions. Remember, focus specifically on that statement you've been given, include different viewpoints. Remember that. You need to include religious teaching arguments. You need to evaluate statements, and don't forget to write persuasively. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this live stream. Thank you for all of your comments and for your interactions. It was really appreciated. I will chuck the link in for the English Lit live stream. So hop onto that. It's starting at 5:30. So hop on to that at 5:30. I'll be up. It will be me again. I'll be with the gong. It's going to be great. And we will be running through some predicted papers and some extra stuff. So thank you so much for joining, and hopefully I will see you in like half an hour or so. Good luck for religious studies tomorrow. Make sure we'll be doing live streams next week, so make sure you subscribe to the channel to keep up to date, and follow us on Insta as well. I post loads of updates on there. So thanks very much for joining. I'll see you in 30 minutes.